Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring Napoleon Hill's Law of Success.
Law of success.
This book was written almost a century ago, and it really lays out, I guess, a pretty timeless set of principles for achieving success. And today, we're going to try to unpack some of those principles and see how they can be applied to today's world.
Yeah, it's really incredible when you think about it. Hill spent over 20 years interviewing just giants in industry like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and their insights really formed the foundation of the work, which is why I think it is so practical and relevant even now.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like we're getting a cheat sheet from some of history's most successful individuals, right?
exactly. And one of the most powerful concepts that Hill introduces is this idea of the mastermind principle.
Okay.
And he emphasizes that, a group of minds working together in harmony can achieve significantly more than, individuals working alone.
Okay, so it's not just about networking or having a team. It's about something, I guess, deeper than that, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
They believe that a true mastermind requires the synergy of intellect's shared goals and a genuine desire to support each other's growth. You can think about it like a powerful engine where each cylinder, is an individual and they contribute to this collective force.
So if we're thinking about applying this principle in our modern world, how do we actually build a mastermind?
That's a great question. I think it starts with identifying individuals who not only possess diverse skills and perspectives, but also share your core values and vision. So it's about finding people who inspire you, challenge you, and complement your strengths.
Yeah, I like that. It's about finding people that elevate your game, not just filling a slot on a team.
Precisely. And one of the key challenges in building a mastermind is overcoming ego and competition. Hill emphasizes the importance of mutual respect, open communication, and a willingness to put the collective good ahead of individual ambition.
Makes sense. It's about creating that culture of trust and collaboration where everyone feels valued and heard.
Exactly. And Hill actually provides a fantastic example of the mastermind principle in action with Andrew Carnegie's carefully selected team. This team wasn't just a group of skilled individuals, they were a cohesive unit that helped Carnegie build his steel empire.
Okay, so we've got our mastermind assembled, but where do we point them?
Great.
This is where Hill's concept of the definite chief aim comes in, right?
Right on.
Yeah.
Having a clear, specific goal is paramount. Without a target to aim at, even the most brilliant minds can get lost in a sea of possibilities. Hill stresses the importance of writing down your goals and regularly visualizing yourself achieving them. So it's about turning that vague desire into a concrete plan.
Yeah, so it's not just dreaming big, it's putting those dreams into action.
Precisely. And Hill's own personal journey embodies this principle. He envisioned publishing a magazine 20 years before it actually happened.
Wow.
Imagine holding on to that vision for that long.
Talk about dedication. It really makes you think about the power of commitment and perseverance.
It's exactly. Hill believed that the act of writing down your goals and visualizing yourself achieving them actually activates your subconscious mind and sets in motion a series of actions that will lead you towards your desired outcome.
So there's a real power in putting pen to paper and making that commitment concrete.
Yeah, Hill emphasizes this with a really powerful quote from the book. He says, "A definite purpose is something that you must create for yourself. No one else will create it for you, and it will not create itself. What are you going to do about it, and when, and how?"
Wow, that's a real wake-up call. It's about taking ownership of your success and not waiting for permission or a perfect opportunity.
Absolutely. And Hill believed that once you've defined your definite chief aim, it's essential to break it down into smaller, actionable steps. This makes the goal seem less daunting and provides a clear roadmap for your journey.
Okay, so we've got powerful team, a clear vision, a plan of action. But what about those inner voices that tell us we can't do it? Hill talks a lot about overcoming fear, right?
Absolutely. He actually identified 6 basic fears that he believed hold people back: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death.
Okay, those are some pretty fundamental fears.
Right.
How does Hill suggest we tackle those anxieties head on?
Well, he delves into the psychological roots of these fears and introduces this concept of social heredity, which is this idea that many of our fears and limiting beliefs are passed down from previous generations,
Yeah.
almost as though we inherit anxieties along with our physical traits.
That's fascinating. It's like we're carrying the baggage of past generations in our subconscious.
Exactly. And one of the most common fears that Hill focuses on is the fear of poverty. And he actually shares a really compelling anecdote about his own experience as a clerk, observing how his wealthy classmates who never had to work for their money often struggle later in life due to a lack of self-reliance.
Yeah, it challenges the notion that financial privilege always equates to success, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. And he'll believe that overcoming the fear of poverty starts with developing a strong work ethic and a belief in your ability to create value and generate income. It's about shifting your mindset from scarcity to abundance.
So it's not just about accumulating wealth, it's about cultivating the confidence and skills to create wealth.
Precisely. And Hill emphasizes that one of the most effective ways to overcome fear is to replace it with faith and self-belief. He was a big proponent of using affirmations and positive self-talk to reprogram your subconscious mind and build unshakable confidence.
Okay, so we've conquered our fears, but how do we go from just surviving to thriving? This is where Hill's principle of doing more than paid for comes into play, right?
Absolutely. Hill believed that the key to standing out from the crowd and attracting opportunities is to consistently go above and beyond what's expected of you.
And he actually lived this principle, right? He secured a publishing deal by volunteering his services and writing for a magazine for free.
Exactly. Hill understood that demonstrating value up front is a powerful way to build trust, showcase your skills, and create a lasting impression. It's about shifting your focus from what you can get to what you can give.
So it's not about being a doormat or working for free. It's about strategically using your skills to create value and attract the right opportunities.
Precisely. And Hill believed that this principle applies not only to our professional lives, but also to our personal relationships. It's about being a giver, not a taker, and contributing positively to the lives of those around us.
Okay, so we're working hard, exceeding expectations, but wouldn't it be helpful to also be likable? Hill talks a lot about cultivating a pleasing personality, but what does that really mean?
That's where things get really interesting. He'll believe that a pleasing personality isn't just about having a charming smile or a smooth demeanor. It's about genuine warmth, empathy, and the ability to connect with others on a deeper level.
So it's not about putting on a fake persona, it's about cultivating genuine connection and warmth.
Exactly. And Hill emphasizes the importance of sincerity. He even says, if these outward manifestations of a pleasing personality lack that vital factor called earnestness of purpose, they will turn people away rather than attract them to you.
So it's about aligning your actions with your values and being authentically you. But how do we actually develop this kind of personality? It can't just be about reading a self-help book, right?
Of course not. He'll believe that developing a pleasing personality requires self-awareness, a genuine desire to understand others, and a willingness to cultivate social skills. He even draws an example from Shakespeare, using Mark Antony's speech at Caesar's funeral to illustrate the power of emotional intelligence and persuasive communication.
Okay, I have to admit, Shakespeare isn't usually my go-to for business advice, but I'm intrigued. How does Antony's speech connect to building a pleasing personality?
Well, Hill highlights how Antony, despite being in a hostile environment, manages to win over the crowd through his masterful use of emotional intelligence, strategic pauses, and persuasive language. It's a brilliant example of how understanding human psychology and connecting with people on an emotional level can be far more effective than relying solely on logic or authority.
So it's about being strategic, but also sincere. It's about using your understanding of human nature to build genuine connections and achieve your goals ethically.
Exactly. And Hill believed that one of the most important aspects of a pleasing personality is the ability to listen attentively and genuinely care about what others have to say. He emphasizes the importance of showing empathy and respect even when you disagree with someone's point of view.
So it's not just about being charming or persuasive. It's about being a good human being.
Exactly. And Hill believed that a pleasing personality, combined with a strong work ethic and a commitment to ethical principles, is a recipe for lasting success. It's about building a reputation as someone who is not only competent, but also trustworthy and kind.
Okay, so we've got a mastermind, a definite chief aim. We've conquered our fears, we're going the extra mile, and we're radiating positive energy and building genuine connections. What's the next piece of the puzzle?
Well, it wouldn't be a Napoleon Hill deep dive without talking about the importance of living by the golden rule.
This is where his emphasis on ethics and integrity shines through, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated, seems simple enough, but applying it consistently requires real character.
And Hill tells a really compelling story about a lawyer who's about to take advantage of a struggling family and buy their farm for a pittance, but then he overhears the elderly father praying for a fair deal and has a change of heart.
Wow.
What a powerful illustration of ethical decision-making.
It is. It's a reminder that ethical behavior isn't just about avoiding negative consequences. It's about cultivating a positive mindset and building a reputation of integrity.
Yeah, and it's something that consumers are increasingly demanding from companies today. There's a growing awareness of the need for businesses to operate with social responsibility.
Absolutely. Hill was ahead of his time in recognizing that lasting success is built on a foundation of ethical principles. It's about creating win-win situations where everyone benefits, rather than exploiting others for personal gain.
So it's about aligning your actions with your values and recognizing that ethical behavior is not just good for the soul, but also good for business.
Precisely. And Hill believed that living by the golden rule fosters a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. It's about creating a positive ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circle.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, and I feel like we've just scratched the surface of these principles. What are some of the other key insights that we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive?
Well, stay tuned as we delve into the fascinating world of Hill's principles on accurate thinking, concentration, and profiting by failure.
I'm already eager to learn more. Don't miss the next part of our deep dive, where we'll continue to unpack the wisdom of Napoleon Hill's law of success and see how it can help us navigate the complexities of our modern world. Welcome back to our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's law of success. We've already covered some of his key principles like the mastermind, the definite chief aim, and the importance of overcoming fear.
Right, we've explored the foundation of building a solid team, setting that clear vision, and tackling those inner doubts that can really hold us back.
Yeah, it's like we're building a blueprint for success, brick by brick. But what about the mental game? Hill talks a lot about the power of thought and the importance of accurate thinking, right?
Absolutely. Hill was a firm believer that our thoughts really shape our reality. He dedicated an entire section of the book to understanding the nature of thought and how to harness the power of the subconscious mind.
Okay, it sounds a bit like the law of attraction, this idea that you attract what you focus on.
There are definitely some parallels there. Hill believed that our dominant thoughts actually create this magnetic force that attracts people, circumstances, and opportunities into our lives. He even talks about this concept of infinite intelligence, which is this universal energy that we can tap into through focused thought.
So it's not just about positive thinking. It's about aligning our thoughts with our goals and using our minds to create the outcomes we desire.
Exactly. And Hill emphasizes that accurate thinking involves going beyond superficial observations and digging deeper to understand the underlying causes and effects in every situation.
So he challenges us to become keen observers, to analyze situations, and to ask those critical questions. It's about developing a discerning mind, right?
Absolutely. Hill believed that accurate thinking is essential for making sound decisions, solving problems effectively, and navigating the complexities of life. He even argues that inaccurate thinking can lead to failure, disappointment, and even illness.
Wow, so it's about training our minds to be sharp and focused, to see things clearly, and to make decisions based on sound reasoning and evidence. But our minds are constantly bombarded with distractions. How do we stay focused in a world that's full of noise and chaos?
Right. That's where concentration comes in. Hill considered concentration to be like a mental superpower, a key to unlocking potential and achieving great things. He believed that the ability to focus your mind on a single task to the exclusion of everything else is essential for success.
He uses some pretty bold language when describing the power of concentration. He says it can unlock prison doors, turn failures into successes, and transform misery into happiness.
Hill was not one for understatement,
Right.
but he backs up his claims with compelling examples from his research. He highlights individuals like Thomas Edison, who was renowned for his ability to focus intently for hours on end, and that led to countless groundbreaking inventions.
So it's about channeling your mental energy like a laser beam, directing it towards a specific purpose and blocking out all distractions.
Exactly. And Hill provides practical tips for cultivating concentration, like finding a quiet place to work, eliminating distractions, and using auto-suggestion to strengthen your willpower.
It's interesting how he links concentration back to the mastermind principle. He believed that when a group of minds are truly in harmony, their combined concentration becomes even more powerful.
Yeah, it's like a collective laser beam, amplifying the energy and focus of each individual. And this principle is even more relevant today, with the constant distractions of technology and social media vying for our attention.
Okay, so we're laser focused on our goals. We've got our mastermind supporting us. But what happens when things inevitably go wrong? Because let's face it, failure is a part of life.
Right. This brings us to one of Hill's most powerful and counterintuitive principles, profiting by failure.
Okay, so instead of seeing failure as a dead end, Hill encourages us to view it as a valuable learning experience.
It's Axley. Hill challenges us to reframe our perspective and see setbacks not as defeats, but as opportunities for growth. He even goes so far as to say that sometimes a noble failure serves the world as faithfully as a distinguished success.
That's a powerful statement. It suggests that even in failure, there can be value, even a kind of nobility.
Yeah, and Hill emphasizes the importance of learning from our mistakes and using those lessons to refine our approach and ultimately achieve success. He even encourages keeping a record of our failures, not to dwell on them, but to use them as data points for improvement.
So it's about analyzing what went wrong, identifying areas for improvement, and using those lessons to course correct and move forward.
Precisely. And Hill's personal journey is filled with examples of him turning failures into opportunities for growth. He openly talks about his own financial struggles, career changes, and even a period of imprisonment.
Wow. It's not the typical image of a self-help guru,
Right.
but it makes him so much more relatable.
It shows that he wasn't preaching from some ivory tower. He was sharing his hard-won wisdom gained through his own experiences. He understood the ups and downs of the journey.
Yeah, and he makes this crucial distinction between failure and temporary defeat. He argues that most of the time what we perceive as failure is just a setback, an obstacle on the path to success. It's about having the resilience to bounce back, learn from those experiences, and keep moving forward. So it's not about avoiding failure at all costs, but about developing the mental and emotional fortitude to navigate those challenges and come out stronger on the other side. But sometimes it's hard to pick yourself up after a setback. How do we cultivate that resilience?
Well, Poole believed that resilience starts with self-control. He dedicated an entire chapter to this principle, emphasizing the importance of mastering our emotions, impulses, and negative thoughts.
So it's about having the discipline to stay focused on our goals even when things get tough, to not let our emotions derail us from our path.
Exactly. And Hill believed that self-control involves being able to see ourselves objectively, to be aware of our strengths and weaknesses, and to be willing to learn from our mistakes. He even suggests that a lack of self-control can undermine all other efforts towards success.
So it's not just about willpower or grit. It's about cultivating self-awareness and the ability to manage our inner world. It's about mastering ourselves before we can master anything else.
Precisely. And Hill believed that self-control goes hand in hand with another key principle, cooperation.
Okay, so we're back to the idea of teamwork and collaboration. But how does cooperation differ from the mastermind principle?
While the mastermind focuses on that synergy of intellect and shared goals, cooperation emphasizes the importance of working together harmoniously and ethically to achieve a common objective. It's about recognizing that we can achieve far more together than we can alone.
It's like a symphony orchestra, where each musician plays their part in perfect harmony with the others to create this beautiful and powerful piece of music.
Exactly. And Hill believed that true cooperation must be rooted in a spirit of fairness and mutual benefit. It's not about exploiting others for personal gain. It's about creating win-win situations where everyone involved benefits.
He even links cooperation to the golden rule, arguing that treating others with respect and fairness is essential for building strong relationships and achieving lasting success. It's about creating that culture of collaboration where everyone feels valued and supported.
Precisely. And Hill believed that cooperation isn't just beneficial for individuals, but also for society as a whole. He even went so far as to say that cooperation is the only way to achieve lasting peace in the world.
Now, that's a bold statement. It really highlights the importance of working together to solve the complex challenges facing humanity.
It does. And Hill's emphasis on cooperation is more relevant than ever in our interconnected world. From global trade to scientific advancements to addressing climate change, collaboration is key to solving the problems that transcend national borders.
So we've explored the power of accurate thinking, the importance of concentration, the art of profiting by failure, the discipline of self-control, and the transformative power of cooperation. What other gems from Hill's Law of Success will we uncover in the final part of our deep dive?
Stay tuned as we explore one final principle that Hill believed to be essential for not only personal success, but also for creating a more harmonious and just world tolerance.
I'm eager to learn more about how tolerance fits into this fascinating tapestry of success principles. Don't miss the final part of our deep dive, where we'll explore the profound wisdom of Napoleon Hill and see how it can help us navigate the complexities of our modern world. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Law of Success. We've covered a lot of ground, from the power of the mastermind to the importance of accurate thinking, profiting by failure, self-control, and cooperation.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey exploring these principles and seeing how they all intertwine to create this roadmap for success.
And now we're arriving at the final principle that Hill emphasized: tolerance. I'm curious to hear how this concept connects to achieving lasting success. It seems a bit unexpected in a book about achieving goals.
It's easy to think of tolerance as just being nice or politically correct, but Hill's side is much more than that. He viewed intolerance as a form of mental poison that clouds judgment and hinders accurate thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you're constantly judging and dismissing people who are different from you, you're closing yourself off to valuable perspectives and opportunities.
Precisely, Hill believed that tolerance is crucial for building and maintaining a mastermind. Remember, the mastermind thrives on the harmonious blending of diverse viewpoints. It's about recognizing that everyone has something unique to contribute.
It's like a chef who only uses one ingredient. You might be able to make a decent meal, but it will never be as rich and flavorful as a dish that incorporates a variety of spices and flavors.
Exactly. And Hill went even further, arguing that intolerance is a major root cause of conflict and even war. He believed that if we could cultivate a deeper understanding and acceptance of others, we could create a more peaceful and prosperous world.
That's a powerful idea. It suggests that tolerance is not just a personal virtue, but a social imperative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hill believed that we have a responsibility to challenge our own biases and assumptions and to actively seek out diverse perspectives. He saw it as a continuous process of growth and learning.
So it's not just about passively accepting people who are different, it's about actively engaging with them, learning from them, and expanding our understanding of the world.
Exactly. And Hill believed that this is especially important for leaders. He argued that a leader who is intolerant will inevitably create division and conflict within their organization, undermining their ability to achieve success.
So tolerance isn't just some abstract moral principle, it's a practical necessity for building strong teams, fostering innovation, and creating a positive impact in the world.
Yeah, Hill actually saw a beautiful connection between tolerance and the Golden Rule.
Okay.
He believed that treating others with respect and understanding, regardless of their differences, is essential for creating a just and equitable society.
It all comes full circle. We started with the mastermind, a group working together in harmony, and we end with tolerance, a principle that fosters that harmony. Along the way, we've explored how to set a definite chief aim, how to overcome our fears, how to profit by failure, how to maintain self-control, and how to cooperate effectively. It's a remarkable tapestry of interconnected principles.
It is, and Hill really challenged us to think bigger than ourselves, to see ourselves as part of something larger. He believed that by embracing these principles, we can not only achieve personal success, but we can also contribute to the progress of humanity as a whole.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the wisdom of Napoleon Hill's law of success, we leave you with this final thought. Which of these principles resonates most strongly with you? What one small step can you take today to apply it in your own life? Remember, the journey to success is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace these principles, stay focused, and never stop learning.